Hi, I'm John Rabel. I'm the founder of Launch, which is a legal and business advisory firm for small and mid-sized companies. I thought today I'd quickly do a little rundown of a regular business checkup that companies could do to look for some potential legal and risk issues. A lot of times businesses are reactive when it comes to legal issues, don't really think they have any, and don't think about how they can prevent them unless a real issue pops up or maybe they get sued. Problem with this is it leads to missed opportunities, extra cost, and oftentimes there's avoidable liability that could have been addressed beforehand. So I'm going to run through a couple things that you can sort of regularly look at and make sure there aren't any issues or anything that's going to come back to bite you down the road. So one big area that you can sort of start with is looking at what your company strategy is and where you plan on going over the next 6 to 12 months. If you're looking to expand either product line or additional service, or maybe geographically, if you're going to move to an additional state or get more of a nationwide footprint, are there any new laws that are going to come into play with operating in new states, operating nationwide? How are you going to address and recognize those before you make the expansion, whether that be geographically or rolling out additional products and services? So another big area is employees. Are you looking to staff up your company, bring on independent contractors or employees? Major risk area for businesses here. Laws around employees are changing regularly. Everything to do with what can go into a job application, what type of interview questions you can ask, etc. So you want to make sure that you're constantly staying on top of that in order to avoid potential lawsuits. One of the biggest areas where businesses face lawsuits is dealing with employees or potential employees. So regularly updating your process around that can save you a lot of headaches. Next area that's sort of something that comes up a lot is contracts. Every business has some sort of contracts, most likely, either vendors, customers, clients, or internal contracts that you're using with your workers. So you want to stay on top of that. Outside of employees, contracts is the next biggest risk area that businesses face. So what you want to be looking at is making sure your contracts are regularly updated to reflect any changes in laws or best practices, and then making sure you've got some sort of system in place where you can manage your contracts. One, it's more effective and can save you significant time depending on how many contracts you're moving in and out. Two, it cuts down on errors, so you're less likely to run into some sort of contract dispute based on what's in the documents you're signing. And so you can set up a process, effectively manage those contracts, and it becomes less and less of an issue. And so the third or fourth area where you might want to regularly check into things is regulations and compliance. Similar to the employees, laws are changing quickly, rapidly, and potentially can have a major impact on your business. How are you going to stay on top of any new regulations that are coming down that you might need to comply with? Are you permitted for everything that you're doing? Obviously, this varies a great deal from business to business and industry to industry, but you'd want to regularly check into that and make sure that you catch any of that. Addressing that after the fact will be extremely expensive and time consuming. So that's a few areas that businesses can regularly check in on, make sure everything's running smoothly, and prevent a lot of issues that could come up down the road. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. J Rabel, that's JRAB as in boy, IL, at launchstrategylegal.com or 804-442-6090.